this is going to be a very short section. I just want to add on an additional test that happens to work very well with the baby name data. So this is going to be an alternative to the equals equals that we're using before on the baby name data. And I want to show you these functions which are called starts with and ends with. And these work on strings. And to explain it here, I'll just look at the code in my example here. So the way this works is all this is the same as we've seen before. I open the table, I have the loop, I have the if statement where I'm looking at each row. So we'll just look at the test left to right here. So the first part of the test is the same as we've done before. So I say row.getFieldName, so I'm pulling the name out of the row, and that's a string. And previously we've done examples like, oh, is it equal to Abby or Robert or whatever with the equals equals test. The way the starts with and ends with functions work is the syntax is kind of funny. It has a dot, and you just tag it right onto the right-hand side of the name. So I get out the name, and I immediately say dot starts with. And then inside of the parentheses for the starts with, you could just say anything. So here I say AB. And what that tests is, does the name begin with the letters AB? And if it does, it's true. The starts with is true, and if it doesn't, it's false. So it kind of reads, you know, does the name start with AB? So let's just try it. So if I just run this, what you'll see is it's gone through the 2,000 rows, and it's just picked out. Right? See, they all start with AB. It was true for all of those. So whatever I type here, we're going to get rows where the name begins with that. So I could type, I don't know, we'll reverse it. I could type BA. Oh, there's not very many. Or I could type maybe just uppercase A, not 2 letters. We get quite a lot of names begin with A. If I type a lowercase a here, and I run, we actually get no output. And what's going on there is that in the computer, the letter uppercase A and the letter lowercase a, those are just 2 different letters. And so in this data, the names all begin with an uppercase letter, and then all the other letters are lowercase. So starting with lowercase a, it's a subtlety, but that has 0 results. Whereas if I put an uppercase a here and run it, then we get them all. Right? And you can even see how, yeah, they begin with an uppercase letter, and then the later letters are lowercase. So you would just need to know that writing the test. All right, there was one more I was going to do here. Oh yeah, let's try Z. So if I look for starts with Z, then we get all the names. There's a few there. Or I could narrow it. I could say, oh, well, maybe it has to start with ZA. Then we get fewer. And maybe I could say ZAI. Then we get down to just 4. And then I could say, like, I'll say like ZAI, I don't know, X. And I run it. Oh, then I get none. So it's certainly possible to write a test where it's just false for all 2,000 rows, and then it just prints nothing. So I'll just back it to ZAI, and we just get those. So that's the starts with function. And for these first examples, we're always going to use it pretty much this way. So we go to the row for the baby data, we get the name out, and then we immediately say dot starts with to check the left side of the name. So as you might guess, there's also a dot ends with that tests the right-hand side of the name. So if I say ends with lowercase z, and I run that, oh gee, there's surprisingly few of those. So that picks out, apparently there's only 3 names in this whole data set that end with z. So I could say, or I could type multiple letters. I could say ends with ly. And we get a few more. Or I'll try ends with la. I'll run that. Oh, so then there's quite a few of those. You can see, I think these are all girl names too. I mean, that's just culturally the pattern in English that girl name, or LA tends to be a girl's name. So this is just two additional functions, and as I was saying, we'll tend to use them for the names in the baby data set. But they're going to allow us to do some more interesting problems.